Hello everyone. Now that you are an expert in understanding the test lifecycle, it's time to learn some essential test techniques to enhance your test cases and scripts. I'm Julia, and I will be your guide for this part of the course. I'll start explaining boundary testing by taking you through a worked example. Then we'll see how this can apply in any industry. To explain what a boundary test is, let's look at a simple set of monetary values. They could be in any currency. There are two boundaries, the lowest value, which in this example is $10, and the highest value of $100. So these are obvious places to start a test. The design may specify that any customer placing an order from $10 up to $100 will receive a 2% discount on any purchase. Our first test would be a purchase of exactly $10. You would then check the final price to ensure the 2% discount is applied. The same kind of test would also be applied to a purchase of exactly $100. So you need to check that the 2% discount is still valid. Now we have identified two obvious tests. What else can we look for? This is called boundary testing for a reason. So let's get close to the boundaries with two tests, one for a purchase of $10.01 and another for $99.99. Both of these should still attract the 2% discount. Let's look at values just outside of the boundaries. As you can see, these values are not within the defined boundary to qualify for the 2% discount. In this example, there may be no discount for purchases lower than $10 and a different rate or reward for purchases over $100. Boundaries are not limited to monetary values. In the telecom world, they could apply to a call failure range, for example, sending a warning email alert to an operations person when the total number of failures is between 20% and 30%. When calculating pensions, the rate paid could be determined by a pensioner's date of birth. In a burger joint, the success of a product could be measured by daily sales. The stress on an aircraft could be measured in a wind tunnel to record the impact on an aircraft's components and superstructure. You could also apply boundary testing to casino software. It's not unusual to offer free meals or gambling credits on future visits to any customer who racks up losses of $100 to $300. Of course, if they lose too much, then another form of intervention may be required. What these all have in common is an upper and lower limit resulting in an outcome, so they can also be tested by using boundary testing. You now know the 6 scenarios that would adequately test any boundary. Typically, the first two tests would be the exact values defined in the range, in this case, $10 and $100. We then looked at two tests, just within the border of the defined range. Finally, we tested values slightly outside of the defined range to make sure the discount rule was not applied. You can now see that boundary testing is an essential aspect of software testing as it verifies the application's ability to manage input values at the extreme limits of acceptable ranges. In the next lesson, we will look at equivalence partitioning, which is related to boundary testing, but it has multiple ranges. It's easier to see how it works than trying to explain it with words. So join me in the next lesson to see how it's done. Remember, all lessons are free, so please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing and allows us to keep creating free content for you.